Good evening again, and welcome to Touching Eternity, the podcast. I'm the host, Sid Patrick, and I will do an official intro as soon as we hit the 8 o'clock mark. I'm just always like to come on a few minutes early to get people logged into the room so that we can have some great conversations. So I'm hoping that soon we will get some people to log on in and we'll get rolling. So while I'm waiting for people to log in, I am going to talk a little bit about some upcoming events. I just finished. Let me adjust this camera a little bit. There we go. And I just got finished doing an interview with Misty Gaither. I'll be on her podcast this Sunday, so please join us on her podcast quest. And that would be great. So just, we got it on Facebook. It's posted. I've got a bunch of exciting events coming up this week. We have on Friday is a private event, and Saturday is our Mimosas, Mediums, Murders, and Mayhem bus tour. Well, it's a bus event. It's not really a tour. It's more of an event where we're going to take a little tour on this rented bus and talk about murders and mayhem and do a little bitty mini readings for everybody on the bus and have a lot of fun drinking mimosas. So if you want to, well, it's sold out. But Sunday, if you can't make that, Sunday at Ziggs, there is posted on Facebook, Ziggs, that's past Violet, Ziggs Hideout. Miss Shirley is hosting Trenny and I there at 2 o'clock on Sunday, this coming Sunday. So you can join us there. Also, meeting with Misty Gaither, we booked Friday the 13th at Mystic Resource Center at 1708 Lake Avenue. We'll be doing a mediumship gallery there. That's going to be coming up on my website soon. And that's Friday the 13th. Ooh, so it's going to be a spooky night. So come join us on a Friday the 13th and let's talk to people from the other side. And got so much coming up. Touching Eternity is June 4th through 8th. Tomorrow is the last day to get a deal on the room. After that, whatever rooms they were holding for me in my block will come up for sale to the general public. Let me warn you, this is a very busy weekend in Orlando. So I would definitely, there's not a lot of, the hotel's booked except for my rooms. So if you want to stay at the hotel, I would recommend calling and getting a room ASAP. Tomorrow is the last day. So if you want to come to Touchdown, we had somebody sign up today. So I'm hoping they got that room. And if not, if you can find another room somewhere else. Hey, Alicia. Hey, my love. If you can find a room somewhere else, then that's great. But I know it is a very busy weekend in Orlando. We have a great group of people coming to Orlando, both in students and in instructors. So once again, I say, come on and join us in Orlando. And know that the hotel that I have from the host hotel is offering us $79 room rates. And there is a $15 resort fee that's added. So with tax, title, it comes right around $103 a night. But that will get you shuttles to all the parks, to some shopping. There's 10 restaurants in the area, including one in the hotel. So it's really close to Disney. Like it's a 5-minute drive to Disney from the hotel. You could actually Uber there. It's so close. You could almost walk if it wasn't on the highway. So join us in Orlando if you want. It's going to be a great course. Please go to my website, sid-patrick.com, if you want to learn more about it. But like I said, the room situation's getting tight. So we're very excited to bring this presentation to you, and we're hoping that that we have more joined us. So in just a minute, I'm going to start with the intro again, and at 8 o'clock, and then restart everything. But I wanted to get that out there, and I'm going to talk about it some more. But I'd like to get online to get a few of y'all joining me. So right now, I think there's like 3 or 4 of y'all in the room. So please say hello. Alicia said hello, so that's really good. She said, hey, my love, and I love her to death. I hope to see her soon. I really do. I hope that we can maybe go have lunch or something. I'm so busy, I just don't know when. Maybe come visit me at work. Hey, Tina, how you doing, love? Glad you go. Here we go. So, hi, everybody. Here's Touching Eternity, the podcast. I'm your host, Sid Patrick. Tonight, we're going to talk a little bit more about energy and the things that it does. And then I'm going to do some little mini readings for you guys. So let's get the show rolling and let's get started. I might have a surprise guest for you to stop in a little bit too. So stick around. Yes, Alicia, we do need to do something. I miss you so much. All right, so let me go back to the full screen. Welcome again. So we got a few people in the room. So I want to talk about some things that's been happening in New Orleans and see what y'all thoughts are. So this past week, and I think it's still going on, they have the Annabelle doll on display from the horror movie. Well, it's not the one from the horror movies because I miss you more. I love you, girl. It's not the one that you've seen in the horror movie. It's the actual Annabelle doll. Hey, Misty. And it's on display here if you want to go see it. And again, I think if that's something that you're into and you want to go see it. The only thing I'm going to ask you to do before you go is please do some protection stuff for yourself and make sure that your energy is very positive and bound. Don't go there inebriated. Don't go there depressed. Don't go there looking for something. And it's just because, I teach energetics. And so I know about energy and I know about things that hold energy or hold evil or hold things that are negative. And so I just really want you guys to go with the right frame of mind. Don't be trying to practice any kind of metaphysical stuff while you're viewing that. It's just not appropriate. Hey, Julia. So like I said, I know a few people that went, and again, they were very positive people, so I don't think they had any problems with it. But remember that energy it's shifted. It never dies. Even when you do a healing or there's something negative, if it's going to move from something, it doesn't go away. It just transforms. And so, hey, Mark, glad you could join us again this week. And so energy, it transforms. So let me explain energy to you folks. Once again, I've done this, I know, several times. You're probably getting tired of hearing it, but I keep seeing things and I keep seeing people doing things that I'm hoping that they're protected. And I want you guys to be safe out there. And I want you to have fun and go experience things. I mean, we do paranormal investigations. We do all these things. We go to some for God's sakes, we go to the French Quarter. There's so much energy down there, So again, how do we deal with that? How do we protect ourselves? How do we avoid conflict? And how do we avoid being put into those arenas? And like I said, it's okay to go, but you just make sure that your energy's in the right place. I know, DJ, you're safe. Annabelle doll is from so Annabelle doll comes from the Warren Museum. And if you've seen the movie The Conjuring and all that series about the Warrens, the Annabelle doll was was the first one. And it was all about the doll they felt was possessed, and it caused some deaths. And again, they have the Warrens have a head of a museum. You can actually go see it online. I would recommend that rather than if you're studying mediumship or you're studying some kind of metaphysical work or energetic work. I would say go look at it online versus go there in person. Well, I am glad you're back in town from Maui. Great. That is phenomenal. Great. So anyway, I would recommend that you understand energetics. You understand we're going into those arenas with very positive attitudes, putting that bright white light around you, creating a moat. Because I'm going to be teaching this June in a couple weeks. This moat of positive energy around you, so that nothing can penetrate it. And again, if people say, oh, but it ain't going to, it's not going to bother me. If you're in that right space, it can. So, as a person who does a lot of mediumship and does a lot of metaphysical work, I always practice before I go, or I always do some kind of cleansing before I go, and I do some kind of cleansing when I leave. And I go with positive attitude, and I go with things to try to back things off. So I just wanted to get that out there because I know a lot of people locally are trying to go see the Annabelle doll. So I wanted to just make sure that y'all protecting yourself. Always that before we investigate. Yes, the white light. Yes, that's very good, Julie. That's Julie. Sorry, that's Julia. Sorry, Julia. I said that wrong. I don't have my glasses on right now, and so the letters are kind of fuzzy on me. But anyway, so I really, really would want you guys to be safe, and I want you to practice know what you're doing and what you're getting into before you do it. What I see, and again, we had this talk about the energetics at the fair a couple weeks ago, so I don't want to keep talking about this. It's in the French Quarter right now. It's on display through one of the tour companies, and you can actually go see. And it's basically a Raggedy Ann doll that was possessed. So it's what it said. It's possessed, and it carries a lot of negative energy, and it's caused a lot of creepy stuff to happen. So again, it's okay to go see it, but just make sure you're in the right frame of mind. You're in the right, don't be too inebriated. Don't be depressed. Don't be negative when you're there. Be very positive. Keep that force field up so it doesn't come to you. So what I tell people, if you think about it like this, you ever walk into a room and you can sense what's going on, and by the time you walk out of there, you just don't feel right? Well, that's kind of how it all works. It's the same concept. Energy, when you walk into a room, you're sharing energy with everything. You're sharing energy and space and time with everything. And so understanding that concept, and how many of y'all go to work and y'all have work people that you don't want to be around, and you get in there and you're like, oh, I just changed my whole day. Well, it's kind of the same thing. When you go see something like this, if you're not in the right frame of mind, you're going to attract some form of energy from that. And so I just want you guys to be safe, okay? So I'm going to leave it there for now and talk about some fun things, because like I said, I was with Misty today, and Misty's there watching the show, and so I wanted to put out some things. So Misty and I are doing a Friday the 13th gallery at Mystic Resource Center, 1708 Lake Avenue. That was the old MRC Treasures. So we're going to be back there, Misty and I, to do a gallery. That will be posted on my website real soon, and I'm going to send Misty a link so she can put it out there too. That's going to be June 13th, Friday, June 13th, Friday the 13th. And then we just noticed this when I was talking with her earlier. We just noticed that the following month on the 13th, we're doing another gallery. I don't know if it's a Friday, but it's the 13th of the month again. So us and 13 seems to be the thing, which I thought was kind of funny and kind of cool. But also we're planning some other cool things. So some of the things that we're planning are, we're definitely going to be planning a cruise for next year, and it's not going to be focused on mediumship. It's going to be focused, it'll have some mediumship in it, but it's going to be, a lot of it's going to be focused on psychic investigation and paranormal investigation. And we're going to be going on a cruise ship for a weekend. We're going to see about, I'm going to try to line up some things to do in some of the ports, special for our group. So that'll be in June next year. So that's what I'm hoping. I'm actually going to go talk to a very good friend of mine, a very good friend, and a professional woman that I've worked with, Jennifer Brazia. She has her own show, Past But Present. Please look it up on Tubi, and I think it's also on another channel as well. So please look that up. And she is one of America's top people with sensing land and finding missing people and those types of things. So again, if that's things that you're into and you want to learn a little bit about it, and there's going to be other things too, to be other fun stuff as well. That's good. We're going to put all this on a cruise ship for you guys so we can all spend some time together. We're going to go visit a healer. So is that one of the stops? I always hated Raggedy Ann and Andy dolls. Not interested. I hear you. I was like, was it really the real Annabelle doll? Did we look in the museum and see if it was still in the museum? Because their whole museum where the doll was located is on film, where you can actually go in like see it. So the inside of it, but I guess it just depends if it's filmed or if it's live. Like if it's a live thing, or if it's filmed. If it's filmed, it would still be. If it's live, so. But anyway, I seen it on film, so I'm good. And again, it's a I know Raggedy Ann. I used to see Raggedy Ann dolls growing up, and Raggedy Andy. But anyway, so that's a little bit about that. And again, it's just about for you guys being safe, and you guys, doing what's right. So I got a lot of stuff coming up. It's probably going to be June 14th that I'll be doing the Father's Day group, grief group next month. Missy and I'll meet that that Saturday, and then that Friday night, and then it's a Friday the 13th, and then Saturday the 14th is probably when I will do the group. I will be in Orlando for with Touching Eternity for the first 9 days of the month, and then I'm back at work because I just can't take off too much work. So that's just really, work has been wonderful. That's all I can say. I'm working a lot, folks, between the shows and the events, and I'm also going to be, after Touching Eternity, I'm coming out with a full line of classes. Upgraded classes. We're going to be doing numerology again. Hello, Gwen. We're going to be doing teaching numerology course all online and in person. So you can join us online, or you can come in person. We're going to be doing another mediumship class in the late summer. We're also going to be doing I'm going to be doing the energetics course as well. So all these courses and classes are going to be coming up. And I am right now scheduling all of my out-of-town events that I do on the weekends with the Aura camera. So again, right now I'm doing a lot of planning for the rest of the year. So I'm going to include all my classes as well. This should all be posted by the end of next week, because I also have to finish my PowerPoints for Touching Eternity for this, for the course. So I've already started it. I just got to finish them up. So I'm gonna spend this week and next week doing that as well. So let's see. Where do I want to take you guys tonight? Also, in the fall, we are also planning an event. We're going to be doing some type of paranormal event. And so we're working on building that, and maybe even sooner than that. But it will be something where it's going to be out of town. We're working on that at the moment. And it may be like a whole weekend where we go one place, do something, and travel to another place, all within distance. So you can use a car. It will be a car trip that we will carpool and car drive to go do some fun things. Misty and I are working on that as well. There'll be stuff in Louisiana that we got some invites to do. And so we're also looking for the Myrtles that one weekend while we're doing this stuff as well, where we'll meet, and Trenny will hopefully join us then too. If she's off, she will. A lot of the things now, because of my work schedule and because of my event schedule and weekend schedule doing the affairs around the country, it's been hard for us to hook up dates because I am so busy. And so I'm trying to get back to Denver as well. That's supposed to happen soon. Trenny has arranged that we're going to be doing a Nacho Dead People in Denver at least one, maybe two locations. So it's coming. It's coming. And then for my work, I have a conference I have to do in August as well. So I'm staying really, really, really busy, and I'm loving it. It's given me life again. It's given me ambition again. It's given me, I'm not bored anymore. I'm staying, well, I was never bored. But trust me, I was never bored. I mean, but it's where my regular work has opened up doors and has given me motivation to continue. Will you ever come to Virginia? If you arrange something, Deidre, we will come, but it has to be, I just can't drop everything and just come, and then it's just like that. If I'm coming to work, I have to work. So yes, we, at any time, any of y'all can message me. I'm looking for venues. I'm looking for places to travel to. I am doing some fairs. I know one's in North Carolina. I know that's not Virginia, but it's in North Carolina. But if you have an idea of an event that you would like to host and have me and Trenny, or me and Misty, or me, Misty and Trenny, whatever y'all want, I can make happen. So, I'm just, Misty has been including me in a lot of her things, and so I've definitely been trying to include her in a lot of mine as well. And Misty and I did a gallery at my house, and it was very successful, and it was a wonderful gallery. Some of you got to attend, and it was actually free. We did a freebie, and but that that was just to introduce my good friend into the world of mediumship. And so now we're going to hold our first together event, and we're going to see. And I hope y'all support that. So we'll be at Mystic on June 13th, Friday. So please come out and support us. And if you do, we'll do more. I mean, that's, guys, that's what I tell people. When people support the events that we do, we come out more. So now, how many of y'all here, I'm hoping that y'all are still looking at, y'all know my tarot class is online. The basic class is online where we cover a lot of stuff. Now, tarot has a lot more, but I want you guys who are interested in tarot to please watch that and please learn and practice your tarot reading, because I will have a master class this year where I don't teach what the cards mean in the master class. I teach master skills and connection while you're reading the cards, and ethics and those types of things. So that's coming up as one of my classes you will see posted before the end of this year. So I've got a lot of stuff going on, folks, and I really, hope to see you guys join me. So let's talk about dating again. That seems to come around a lot. And so, in relationships. Yes, I know you are. Stacy, I got the list ready for you too. I got to call you when this is over, because I got the list ready to go. But let's talk about relationships, because one of the questions that I get all the time, and guys, if there are any topics you want me to talk about or any questions that you don't mind me repeating online to you, then please, text me, message me those on Messenger, or email me, or those types of things. And hey, Denise, and I'd be glad to talk to you guys. Deidre, I think there is one. Alexandria, Virginia sounds familiar. That might be one, but I think I'm booked that weekend somewhere else. Because some of the dates that Stacy sent me, I'm already booked in other places. So I just have to see. I know we're going to Tampa. I know we're going to Portland, Oregon. I know that I know Tampa. I know Portland, Oregon. I know there's a couple of we're going back to Tulsa, Oklahoma. I know that. That's actually the first weekend in August is Tulsa, Oklahoma. And so and I think I'm looking at a couple of other ones, but that's about it, because I am very booked with events here locally too. So I'm saying, so my dating life is a hot mess express. Any advice is appreciated. All right, baby. So y'all know in my energetics course, which we've talked about almost every podcast, so I'm not going to get all into the course, but actually DC just happened. I was busy for that weekend. I couldn't do it. They just did one in DC. When it comes back around, Deidre, I will do DC. I want to do DC. I have clients in DC, and I really wanted to do DC, but they just did one a couple weeks ago in DC, and I was already booked, so I could not do it. But anyway, back to relationships. So when I teach energetics, I teach you things, and we've gone over this. So there is a YouTube on this, how you need to really go inside and learn about you. You've got to go inside and learn what your fears, your blocks. You got to learn your passions. You got to learn, what are your goals? What are your morals? What is your inspiration? And you have to understand what got you there. Like, understand, what happened in life that took you there. And you need to understand that. And once you understand that, it doesn't mean you have to fix it. You just got to understand the why. And do I have my guest coming in? Is that my guest? Yeah, come on in.
I'm going to do it for a minute.
Well, come on. She's going to come. Here's my guest. Look who's joining me. So we'll get back to relationship. But right now, it's Trini. Trini is here. She's in town with me. We're over here in the camp. Come over here.
I'm coming.
Come on.
Okay.
So she's in town with me. She's looking absolutely wonderful. Look at her. She's got her new self going on. Look at her. She's been working all day, and she's starving. And so she's only got a minute for us. So I'm gonna let her speak, and then we'll get back to relationships. We're talking about relationships. We're gonna talk about relationships and energetics and how to pull them to you. So, but I want to talk about our events, because we have some fun ones coming up. So, like I said, this weekend we have a private event that has sold out. It's sold out Friday. Saturday we have the Mimosas, Mediums, Murders, and Mayhem bus event, which is sold out. But Sunday, you can still see us at Zig's Hideout, which is down in Violet, and we will be there together. Other than that, she's booked. I'm booked. We have one client we're trying to do together. Gwen says hello, Trini.
Hi, Gwen.
And we were trying to book her, and we had to book her one of the last few days you're here because you booked solid, pretty much this week.
Yeah, I got somebody else that texts tonight that I have to text back that wants us both.
Okay.
So.
And then tomorrow, guess what? Trini and I are going to get a reading. So we're going to get a reading from someone.
Yep.
Yes.
It'll be fun.
So we're excited because we don't get read that often. So we're going to get a reading. But anyway, so that's going to be interesting. So we're going to have a little bit of time to look at Peg. Is that how you sound? You hello. How you draw? So I know you know a lot of those names.
Yep.
So we have a lot of stuff. And then I know do you know about when we're going to Denver? Because I keep getting asked that question too.
Did we decide July?
I think it is July, but
July,
please let me know a weekend because I can't be the weekend of the 12th, and I am booking another weekend at a conference the 26th. So somewhere
between that and the 4th wouldn't be good. So
yeah,
it's got to be like the 20th.
Yeah, somewhere around
18th,
there.
19th.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's probably when we will do Denver because Stacy sent me out my schedule of fairs that I'm going to be doing with the Aura camera. So, and guys, those are doing really well. I can't complain. We've had some really, really powerful ones, and we had some that were just that we broke even, but it's the exposure and meeting the people that's really, really cool. So that is a lot of fun. So tell people what's going on with you. I'm always on here. So.
Just a lot of work.
A lot of work.
A
lot of new grandbabies.
Yep. Grandbabies and new house.
New house.
New
yes.
house. Yeah. Gonna move in July.
Oh, wow. You sure we doing this in July?
Because August is July 1st.
Oh, okay. So
yeah.
I'm like, ooh.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
And
I'm going to Dallas sometime in between now and then, but I just don't know when because I'm looking at the end of this month going to Dallas before I go to Touch in Eternity. But if not, I'm gonna do it when I get back from Touch in Eternity.
Yep.
So I'm definitely planning to come to Dallas.
I think that's about. I mean, literally, it's just work.
Well, you can't just have all work.
No, I play with my horses.
Okay, well, and we're gonna go have a reading tomorrow night.
Yeah,
so you're gonna work, but we're gonna have
lots of hiking.
Yeah, we're gonna have a reading tomorrow night. So that's different for both of us.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I do have been a lot of medical issues, not for me, but like my friend circle. A lot of bad medicine stuff going on right now. So.
Well, I'll need to go see the person that fixed you because you look wonderful.
Yeah, no.
And your health looks good.
One of my best friends is waiting for a heart transplant.
Aw, they never found a match?
No, I think she's getting officially listed tomorrow, but I don't think they're going to let her go home. I think they're putting her level 2. And then, and she's in Denver. And then another friend of mine's son is in a children's hospital in Pennsylvania with heart stuff.
I'm going to Pennsylvania for a fair coming up. It's that's one of the places, Stacy.
A lot of medical stress, but not.
I guess we're going to see Lana. Lana's very busy. Lana's putting together events herself in the Dallas area. So Lana's been very busy. I hardly hear from Lana anymore. Every now and then, I actually just heard from her husband a couple weeks ago. So, but Lana herself, she's obviously been very busy because I hardly hear from Lana. I know she's putting together some big events in Dallas as well. About movement and change. The number 5.
Lori.
Yes. 5 is all about change.
Yep, it is.
I am here. Hey, Lori. Lori made it, and I don't know if she's gonna be there Sunday or not, but we'll be there. We'll be out in her area Sunday. We are going to go to her friend's bar, the Pope, soon too. I just don't know when. We're waiting on a call and see when that's going to
Deidre, what is up with that? You hated Raggedy Ann and Andy dolls are my favorites.
Well, no. So we were talking about the Annabelle dolls here right now.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are going to see it. And so I opened up. We're talking about, when you go, you really should make sure you have positive energy out there. And because whenever you go do anything, like any kind of you go with any kind of paranormal investigation, or you don't know where you're going, you really need to have your energy in the right place. And that's what we were talking about. She goes, well, I don't even like Raggedy Ann and Andy.
Those are my favorites. I still have them, the ones my grandma made me. Yeah. That's funny.
So, we will be, like I said, I know I am going to Pennsylvania, and I think that weekend I'm free, unless it's something that interferes with, because if it's a weekend with Trini or a weekend at me going to go do aura photos, I'm going with Trini, because aura photos is a lot of work.
Like, I'm tired.
It's a lot of work, and then like she's working so much. She's not traveling as much as she used to, because you've been trying to focus on family and stuff, and you've been looking great.
I'm not traveling as much, and but I'm on the phone like.
I know. Well.
Yep. I try to take Wednesdays, Sundays, and half of Saturdays off, but my calendar keeps letting people book.
You need to fix that calendar.
We've tried, and it will go on. It says that it's blocked off, and somebody will still. I got a client named Sherry in Michigan, and she books on Wednesdays, and somebody else will try, and it's blocked off, and then she can get in every time. So
she might have your password.
It's so crazy.
She's moving it.
It's so crazy.
Hi, Angelina. How you doing, love?
I can't say I'm doing less readings. I'm doing probably more actually, but they're from home. They've been more from home. Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
Good. Well, you have to figure out something when I come to Dallas. We can maybe do in Dallas.
Yeah.
I might if I put it out on Facebook. I don't know. I might have some people still in Dallas that still stay in touch. Not a lot. There may be a few. But anyways, okay. So Sam's on. I don't see her name. So yeah, that's who has the Pope, correct? That's Samantha.
Yeah. Okay. So you were talking about relationships?
Yeah, we were talking about relationships and about building that core energy around yourself so that the right person is attracted to you.
Yeah.
And that is part of what this second part of Touching Turns. I've taught them how to fears and blocks and getting rid of the negative energy. Now I want to learn to tell you how to surround yourself with it so that you have that attraction, you have that pull. Like Trini can tell you, both of us have that. We can walk down a street and some people are just automatically attracted to you, and it's kind of creepy sometimes because you're like,
yeah. Boundaries.
Robbie, I got a story to tell you.
Oh,
anyway,
good.
yeah, I got a story. I can't say these online, but I do have stories. My mom has always called me a magnet. Yes, I understand that.
Yep.
But again, if you put out the right energy, you're going to attract the right person. And that's why it's important that you first go in and identify who you are. Understand you as a person. Understand what it is that you truly, really need. And quit trying to... What I find a lot of people do, both men and women, is that they only focus on their initial needs and never look... I put this on Facebook, but they never look at the soul of a person. They just look at they let their friends or family tell them what they need and what they see, and so they want that initial look or that initial whatever, but they never take the time to learn about the soul of a person. And if somebody really wants to be with you, if you want your relationship to work, you really have to know the soul of that person. It's a big thing. Am I saying that right?
Mm-hmm.
So you really, that falling in love with the soul of a person is so much better than falling in love with an appearance. We spend people in America,
or an expectation.
Yes, or an expectation. If people spent as much time looking for that soul connection and losing those expectations as they did with getting fillers and hair and all that stuff, right? Yeah, because that's all temporary.
Yeah,
that's all temporary. You have to truly understand what your soul is, and your soul will connect to someone else's soul if you put it out there. But you have to put it out there what you really, really want, and not just that superficial, you'll get attracted to. I'm telling you, the last time we were at Zig's, somebody followed her to our car. Like I had to stand in between her and the person. Okay, I was like, this is scary. But anyway, he was just so sure that he could have a date.
Oh yeah, yep.
said, buddy, I have a better chance than you and I'm gay. Okay? I said, trust me, because at least I know her soul.
Yep.
At least I know.
Yep. Oh, yeah. That guy.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
That guy.
My soul needs to try. Well, absolutely. I met my husband in Norway, and she didn't meet her husband in another country, but he's from another country. And they definitely made the connection. Sophia. Hi, Sophia. After the last relationship, I embraced knowing one soul.
Yep.
Absolutely. You have to fall in love with the soul of a person. You're not going to make it.
Yep.
You're not. Hey, Gina.
I think
nice seeing you last night.
Though. I see one mistake I know women make. I've seen men make it too, especially women though, and they get in these relationships they can't get out of.
Right.
Is they're in love with the potential of what it could be.
Right.
Or he's just afraid.
Right.
He's just afraid.
You're not going to fix nobody.
And I think it's like you have this expectation of them to be like yourself,
right.
because you know what you're capable of giving and what you're capable of receiving and doing for the relationship, and they just think like he will change.
Yep. And
he's just afraid he will do this.
And they're not gonna.
No.
And this is another hard thing I tell people. She's like, hi. Yeah. I say, hey, Sophia. So one thing that I can tell you, this is a tough one. I tell people, you're in love when you can look at your partner and tell them goodbye if they feel that they can do, that their life is going to be better without you, and you're still going to be hurt, but to be able to let them go for their own happiness. That's true love. Because right now, my spouse, my husband could walk in here and tell me that, I there's so much more that I want in life, and there's so much I want to experience. It's, that I want to move on. I would be heartbroken, but I would allow him to leave without any fight, without any problem. There'd be nothing that I wouldn't do to help him move on his journey, because my love for him is that I want to see him happy. And that's what I tell people. That's when you're really in love, when it's more about them than it is about you, but yet you protect your boundaries. Because my husband also treats me better than anyone has ever treated me. And I can honestly say that. And I think you can kind of say some of that too, but that's your turn.
Sure can.
Because you met a very good man for you in your life.
Yep, sure did.
Uh-huh.
I think like the big thing with him, because we got married so quick.
Right.
People are like, oh, but I wasn't. It wasn't like that. Oh, I'm in love feeling.
Right.
I felt safety from him.
Mm-hmm.
He felt safe to me.
Right.
Yeah, and everything checked out.
Right. And then now it becomes love.
It becomes love, because I knew that in that safe arena of someone who is that solid morally, and his character solid, his finances were solid, his spirituality is solid, everything about this man was solid.
Right.
And his level of commitment, our level of commitment matched. And that is one mistake I see people making. You've got somebody ready to commit, but they're always attached to somebody who's unavailable.
Mm-hmm.
And then they start chasing that potential again.
Can't chase potential.
Can't do that. Our level of commitment matched, and I knew that would be a safe space to fall in love in. And we did. And
Gina, and that is a rarity. So you, like I said, you're very lucky to have met your soulmate, and it even though he passed, I know you wouldn't change that for the world. I know you would, that love is still there, and love is never lost. Love,
no,
love is never lost. Love is eternal, and that's nothing you have to learn. Love is eternal. That's one of the only things you take on when you transition is the love. All that hate stuff and anger stays right here. And that's why I tell people, always look for positivity, always look for people who speak positivity, always look for people who try to lift you rather than suppress you. Understand those things, and that's where you're going to find your true soulmate. That's and on my website it's posted, when your heart is open, the world is at your fingertips. That is a saying by me, and it is very true. You have to have that heart connection and that love for life and that love for all people. It's very, very important. Just saying. It's very right brain stuff. So anyway, what more pointers can we give you? So anyway, I will be teaching the course of energetics probably in September, parts 1 and part 2. So it will be available here for those that can't make it to Touching Eternity. But you don't have to, Tina. He knows that. Like Magni knows how I feel about him. He knows. He knows. He knows. And I know. I don't have to guess it. I don't have to second.
Right.
Yeah. When you know, you know.
Yep.
And even when we're being a little disgruntled with each other, because people do get a little disgruntled at times, it's never in a bad way. Like, you know what I mean? It's never really in a bad way. It's just like, yeah, maybe I just need to walk away for a minute because maybe I had a bad day or something like that. But it's never, we never even really had a big fight since we've been together that I can think of. Not anything major. We've had, regular stuff, but nothing ever where we had to go sleep in separate rooms that I can remember. None of that. So again, relationships are what you make them. Actually, you're the biggest piece in the relationship because you can only control what you do and your feelings and your understanding and what you're going to do. And you have to be able to walk when it's time to walk. If that time comes, it may never come. If you're with the right person, it wouldn't come. But if you made a bad choice, you need to be able to identify that and then walk from it. And one thing that I see, and I just don't get it, and I see this a lot, is when people do break up sometimes, they stay like they're not together, but they are.
Yeah.
It's like they stretch everything out so long. They got kids and they got this and they make everything crazy. They make everything a mess rather than just saying, you know what, we're gonna co-parent and this is how it's gonna be. And if that person treats that relationship should have never been to begin with. Right. There should be no, it should have never been. It wasn't right to begin with. And so, if somebody cheated on you or lied to you or distrusted you, you walk the first time. If that's part of your goals, you walk the first time. You don't sit there and keep letting it, they're going to get better. No, they're not. Let them get better with somebody else. Don't let them waste your time. You don't waste their time. Learn your lesson with me. You move on. I'm moving on. We can be friends. We can talk. We can be cordial. I'm not mad at you, obviously. This wasn't working for you. Now it's not working for me. Right. So I'm moving on. Y'all have to quit. First of all, you gotta learn to love yourself so you can quit being afraid of being alone. Yes. Alicia, that's right. A big one. You have to learn to love you and respect who you are first. That's why I tell you, learn who you are. Understand who you are before you go out there trying to hook up with somebody. Yep. You might have on both sides. You both might have kids that, that's gonna have to live in all this turmoil and mess with them. And so again, it's better to wait until you know you. And I'm not saying that you're gonna meet the perfect one the first time, but you have to know when to walk away and walk away with dignity and respect for yourself. And if you have kids, make sure that they're protected and that they have dignity and respect as well. Because sometimes the other partner don't. I'm not saying man because both I've seen both do horrible things. Yeah. Right. There's nothing wrong with being alone.
No, it's peaceful.
Let me tell you, I could write a book on my alone time. Just that. It'd be an interesting story. The traveling and the craziness and all the fun stuff and the interesting people that I met, couples, family stuff that I met, just traveling on my own, being my own person, doing my own thing because I'm comfortable with me. And that's the hardest thing for people too, is to learn to be comfortable with themselves. And I want you to learn that. I want you to learn how to be comfortable with who you are and understand who you are and why things upset you and why things hurt you and what expectation did you have and what happened in your family or your community or your church or what created that emotion for you. Was it an incident in your life? What was it just the way you were treated your entire life? Figure it. I'm not saying you to fix it. I'm telling you to understand it. Understand it. That's what's important. That you understand why your perception is that way, why you're behaving that way. Like I know why I like what I like. I can tell you why. Because I know in my life what happened that drove me there. Yep. I mean, and again, and I understand what got me in trouble for many years. and why I got in trouble for many years. I understand that. I was able to grow from that because I understand it. And relationships get better because sometimes it might take a few of them for you to go through to learn about you and learn about what you really want. And that's okay, as long as you don't hold the other person hostage. And that's what I see happen in relationships. They don't want, when they break up, they don't want either other party. They don't want either party to be happy. So they with each other like this.
Yeah.
And, well, he's got him another one. She's got her another man. And it's like all this. Why?
Yeah. Why?
Walk away clean. Like, why do you want that drama? And then you have to ask, why do I accept that drama? Then you have to go back and look at my life. What was going on in my life? Did I see that growing up? Is that what I'm used to? Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
I mean, we've all had a piece of shit. Oh, Charlie.
Yeah.
We've all had it.
Yep.
But being able to wipe it or walk away from it is the most important thing.
Yep. I just had a client today that I told her, I said, you getting discarded by a narcissist is probably the best gift you will ever get.
Right.
You don't have to break up. They just kicked you to the curb. That's a gift.
That's a gift. And go. Just don't go back.
Go.
Yeah, go. Go. When they kick you to the curb, go. There you go, Alicia. She goes, I know I did. You just have to know when to say, look, I told you I love you, now get out. Get out. Go.
Yep.
Your children should be, children have in that learning phase, I'm old. Trini's not. I'm old. I'm a lot older than Trini. But anyway.
You're not that much older.
Enough. We look good together, don't we? But anyway. So, I want the way to have that successful relationship is first to understand who you are, be comfortable in your own skin, understand what makes you, what irks you, like understand what drives you. Okay, because that's important. Because I find that in most people that I've counseled, it's the little things that make them upset and split them up more than it is the big things. That there's so many little things that are going wrong in a relationship that they start looking for the big stuff. Please cheat on me. Please lie to me. I want to. I got to figure a way to get out of this relationship. So you actually look for it, and then you get angry when they did. Like, well, why'd they do it? And then you want to fight about it. No. Set them free. Set you free. Stop wasting your life. Stop wasting time. Time is precious, folks.
You never get it back.
You don't get it back. Hey, Dina.
Dina.
And Tina, I'm old. I'm old too. And I'm up there. I'm ready. I'm at retirement age. So I tell people, and but retirement is not anywhere in my vocabulary, but I am up. I'm older than you, Tina. What month, Tina? What month do you make sick? When do you make the next year, Tina? Let's see what she writes. When do you hit the next year, Tina?
Oh.
I'm old. I'm older than you, Tina. So I am older than you, love. And I'm not too old. Trust me. Right, Tony?
That's right.
So you're never too old.
Nope.
It's all here. It's what you see. It's what you've been cultured to think. It's all those things.
It is.
Stop believing it. When you believe it, you become it. Well, Peg, I know you. So you're older than us, Peg. But again, live your life.
Yeah.
Live every single moment to the fullest. Do you, boo? That's what I tell people. Do you? Have fun, explore, do things that make you happy. Relationships can elevate you, but they can also destroy you.
Yep.
And you have to totally evaluate what you're in. And most people stay in relationships for many years, more so because of security, out of love. And that's sad, I find, because I think people should have their own lives. I believe in the dove. I believe you should have your life, and they should have their life, and you come together in a mutual being, and you make the dove of marriage. That's truly what I believe. And that if you allow yourself to be crippled by someone, that's never going to turn out good for you, because you never know what's going to happen in life. You just don't. If you're with somebody for security reasons and something happens to them, you're going to be could be in a totally different situation. Or if they get real ill, or something before, and then that just takes, like, I can tell you, cancer has devastated my family. 1, 2, 3 times, four. If I count him, 4 times, and it's drained my family just about everything they had. So I can tell you, it did. So sometimes you might think you have security, but it just takes one thing.
Yeah.
Could zap it all.
Yep.
So always be secure with who you are and what you have, and live your life with your partners. Y'all both have good lives, but you do it because you love each other. That's that centerpiece.
Yeah.
Not because you need it, or because if you gotta find somebody who meets you at that level, somebody who is able to let you go and explore your life and not hold you down and let you do the things you do. And trust me, I know her husband does that, because they are from 2 opposite ends of the spectrum. Way like almost as far can go. And he allows her to still be herself. So I honor him for that he allows his wife to be who she is. And likewise, she does the same for him.
Yep.
Because I watch her starve herself.
What?
So I watch you starve yourself. Trying to understand, because she's trying to understand her partner and understand her husband. And so she, they try, and that is what being together is about, is trying to learn each other and come together, and it even.
Yeah, we're from way opposite.
Yeah, they're from way opposite ends of the spectrum.
Muslim and the medium.
Yeah, Muslim in the medium. So go figure. Okay. Look, losing one's identity because it is very sad, Dina.
It is.
Nothing. Yes. I mean, you should be able to go do what you want to do with your life. If you have if you have inspirations. Boy, you can tell where I've been today, huh? I've been at the hospital. If you have inspiration, if you have that was great.
That was a good one.
If you have inspiration to go do things with your life or do things, your partner should be okay with that and should promote that, and likewise you to them as well. And don't do it just because they do it. It's because you love them and want that for them. That is the key. That's what love is. If you're not feeling those feelings, then you're probably not in love. Just gonna say that. You're probably just in there for another reason and need to figure that out. And hope that you can fix it. You go ahead and go eat, because I know you've been working. She's been working. Well, we've both been working all day. I have not stopped. I went straight from work to do the podcast with my friend Misty, and then I came and done this podcast. So I've been on a constant roll all day too.
Yep. And
today was out. And if I could have had a drink, I would have. I might go have a glass of champagne when I'm finished this, because it's been a day. Dinner? I did.
Okay.
We did. We left when I left work. That's why Magni came to pick me up. We stopped and had dinner, then ran to the first place, and then came to the second place.
Cool. Yeah, I'm gonna go eat.
Yeah, go eat, because the restaurant closes shortly. Or you're gonna be doing taco hell.
No.
He'll go. No.
I know. I got a sick hubby too. He's got the flu.
Does he?
Yeah, he wasn't sick at all when I left, and then he called me at it was about 4:30, and he said he was throwing up all over the house. And now he sent me a picture, and he's in bed, and he is sick.
Oh, well, let's all send him some love. So y'all think of Trinity and think of her husband, and y'all send some love. Because he's a wonderful guy. He really is. Send him some love. Let's get him better.
Yeah, he is. I've never seen him like this. And of course, it happens when I'm gone.
Right, of course. Maddie. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Oh, folks. All right, well, go eat, and I'm gonna wrap it, because I'm gonna do a couple of readings for these people.
Alrighty.
And when you come back, we'll talk about the bus event this weekend and what I've got going. I don't know. We might have to go pick out. I don't know. I'm thinking about. I don't know.
Are you going spooky, or are you going?
I don't know. We're gonna talk about that when you come home. Oh, look, she sat back down. You better go eat before the restaurant closes.
I will.
Okay, so
I will.
I don't know what I'm gonna wear this weekend. I don't know exactly. I got a couple spooky stuff, but I don't. But it's not really spooky. It's more more about serial killing and murders and massacres and bloodshed and all that stuff. Did you see the napkins on the counter?
No, I haven't looked at anything yet.
You need to go check them out. They're cool.
I did bring a.
They get blood
I
stained,
did
and they
bring
got to
like
help
a
me on it.
satiny, silky, like one-piece dress that's black and kind of.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe we're just a little macabre then, you know?
Maybe so.
Maybe so. So, and so just, and I'm going to let you know in front of everybody, so anybody who's out there that's going can hear this. On the bus, the readings are mini readings. So I keep stressing that because I know people are going to want full, but there are eight different stories, long stories that I've got X amount of time to get in there. So the readings are going to be they're like 3 card pulls brief. Or 1 pull, very brief, or just us tapping into you and saying, you know, and giving you some insight. Because once we start the tour, it is really like once we start the adventure on the bus, there is 8 different, well, it's more than 8, but it's 8 different segments of this of stories that you and in history you're going to hear about. And everything that we're telling you, I'm telling you, really happened. These are all real events. Well, thank you, Mark, for episode 100. Actually, that's just, we decided to start numbering them, and that's like where we just started. I probably have more than, I don't know how many I have posted, but we did that just to try to start keeping track of what episode we talked about what on. So that way we started numbering them. Mm-hmm. But yes, but no, I did have had over 100 comments on a lot of the videos, and we're getting promoted higher in a lot of areas. So I'm very happy about that. And we're having more of y'all join us now. So that's really cool.
That's awesome.
We're going to be doing some paranormal stuff too with Misty. And if you want to join us, you can.
Cool.
So if you're here, I don't know if you're going to be here, but she's very big in the paranormal world, mm-hmm. and also in the serial killer world. So she's, you know, so we're going to be doing some things into that. And if you're here, I would love you to come.
When is it?
So, well, we haven't booked them yet. We got one. Okay. We're going to, she wants to do a jail in central Louisiana and maybe go stop at the Myrtles on the way back and make it a weekend. Yep. So we're looking at that. And
Great.
And she's been invited to go investigate this old jail.
Great.
And so we're looking at that.
That's my first love.
Yes, I know. I know that's your first love.
Paranormal's my first love.
And we still want to go to the ones that you want to go to. So we're gonna, and Misty wants to go to those too. So she's very big into that. And some of the places you named are some of her dream places she wants to go see. So we're gonna be trying to get into those places as well sometime during the year.
Let me know the dates I can get in.
Okay.
Yeah.
We just need to find the time.
Yep, they're great.
We just need to find the time. And now, I know the one of them is the prison that Martin Luther King's a murderer was. That's in Tennessee.
And then Trans-Allegheny.
And Trans-Allegheny is how far from there?
It took us about 6 hours, I think. We drove it.
And we're going to probably do this too.
Drove all the way through Virginia, and it was beautiful.
If we get enough people, we might even just get a tour bus.
Yeah, it was great.
And bus it. I'm going to see what that would cost.
Mm-hmm. And then Waverly, you know.
And they're all in that area?
Yeah, and there's a couple other ones in Tennessee too.
Okay, Misty, if you're on, you writing those down? Hey, Wayne. So we're looking at doing like setting up a tour and doing those, and we actually talk about bringing a camera with us and actually doing some filming, filming, and like doing a lot of filming and get it out there. And so I'm hoping that some of you guys can join us. And Misty's very connected with a lot of the local paranormal groups here. Mm-hmm. So we're going to try to get them all involved as well. So, and see if they want to come do this with us.
Yeah, no, the thing when we do those tours and the overnight things, you can only have like, I think it was 10 or 12 people. Okay. So they have to be small.
Well, then we're going to have to carpool it. So we can't get a bus.
Or we stagger it. So like, right. Like do one night here, a night here, and then we all flip-flop or something.
Right.
It's,
So we can do 2 tours and then flip-flop.
Right. Something like that. Because those overnight ones are a little smaller. So, and they were in the daytime tour of Trans-Allegheny, like the historical tour was amazing. That was really cool.
So tell me about that, because I don't know about all these places. That's you and Misty's forte.
Oh, it was great. So we got to go through and they did the.
What is Trans-Allegheny? Because that's how
it's an old lunatic asylum.
There we go. I thought it was okay.
And you can see it featured on Ghost Adventures and all that stuff too. And they did lobotomies. They did all of that, and there was actually, and there's another building behind it where they had a lot of young men for like rehabilitation, naughty teenagers, naughty young men. That building actually felt worse to me than the lunatic one, but the lunatic asylum was I think it was on the third floor, where they have this actual cells. Man, did we get a lot of activity up there, and a lot of great EVPs, a lot of great video, a lot of great audio. Objects actually moved, which was amazing.
I got that at the Myrtles.
Brushy,
we had stuff move at the Myrtles.
Brushy Mountain State. Brushy Mountain is in Tennessee, and that's a prison. That one probably had the best interactive, intelligent responses on EVPs I've ever heard of in my life.
It's kind of was trying to get a group to go to Trans-Allegheny.
Yeah. So, Brushy Mountain, I actually don't think I've ever experienced that level of intelligent responses when we were asking questions, and it would come through the equipment, and that was amazing. Amazing.
So it might be better for us to, because guys, I got a van that seats only 2, but I could do my car and a van, and we could load all the equipment into the van.
Yeah.
And then drive that up and have everybody kind of carpooling together.
Yeah.
Because so if we come from here, we could do we're gonna do the jail stuff and probably the Myrtles anyway. But if we go into Tennessee, going up that way, you also have that battlefield that's very haunted, where you can still hear the war and stuff. And
we stopped at another place in North Carolina on the way too, which was great. So we had made a big tour going up there, and it was awesome.
So that's good. In June next year, I'm going to meet with Jennifer Brazier. We're going to talk about doing a cruise out of New Orleans, where it's going to be mostly focused on paranormal, and Misty's going to be there too. We're going to focus on paranormal investigation and psychic investigation, and I'm going to try to arrange some stuff in another country for us to go do. And go visit some places and do like an investigation. Of course, it'll have to be during the daytime, not the nighttime, because when you do a cruise, you only have the daytime to go explore stuff. So that'll be the downfall. And then we're gonna go see the healer as well while we're there.
If we want to do a group up in Colorado, definitely know all those places too.
Yes, Tracy wants us to come to Colorado and do a lot of the places in Colorado. So again, guys, the thing is, it's the timing, and it is the timing, and it is the who can get off for a week. I mean, how many times can you take a week off? So we might have to do some short trips first. So we'll probably talk about that, and maybe just do a weekend, like a long weekend, like a Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and we might have to, if we go to Tennessee, we might have to fly and then rent. And pack the equipment, because again, I don't think everybody could just keep taking off work. So we do want to do some trips. So but we got to make it affordable, and we want everybody to be able to go. So all right, so go enjoy. All right, go eat, and then I'm gonna wrap up here, and I'm gonna probably do a few readings before I wrap up. So guys, so that sounds like a lot of fun. It's a little bit different. We've been focusing on the spiritual, which is wonderful and great, but there is a whole big another world out there. And again, as long as you keep your energy, and that was the main conversation about tonight, as long as you keep your energy positive and you keep yourself cleansed, you should be okay going to do these things. I do not like to take people to these things that have not been christened or baptized. That's just me. So if you haven't, I'm going to have to do a quick one on you, do something extra. And people a lot of times ask me, why do I want you to be christened and baptized? Well, if you know the history of any true based horror story that was based on true facts, the one thing you see in almost every one of them is the one that gets possessed is the one that wasn't protected with the bright light of their faith. Because I don't want to say that any particular, it's just you need to be protected with the bright light of your faith. And if I have to, if somebody is not christened and baptized, I will usually do some little ceremonial thing to them before we go, just to pop their energy and pop their stuff, so that they don't pick up anything. Because you can pick up stuff in these places. You can. All right. Anybody have any questions for the tarot cards tonight? If you do, let me know. I'm gonna do about three or four questions. But if you take too long to put them up there, I'm going to say goodnight. So, but I will do some questions for you guys. I'm shuffling. So somebody type up a question, and I will ask the card your question, and I'll pull 3 cards and give you the answer. So just ask some questions away. This is the only time you're getting free readings from me, folks. I normally don't do these, but I love doing them online for you guys before I go, at least a couple of them. What's next for you? As in what aspect, Alicia? Like in work or life or love, or where you want it to focus at? Okay, this is for Alicia. What's next for Alicia? Let me see where it's going to focus. Love. Okay. 2, 3. Well, it says here that you've had your heart broken. You've had your heart broken. However, there is a gentleman, I think that he's a little bit older than you, that seems to be coming into your life. And I see you actually living with this gentleman. So I want you to pay attention to that. Okay? Because I picked those 3 random cards for you. So please pay attention to that. And I think there is somebody, but I think that he's a little bit older than you. I don't know if that's necessarily your style normally, but this guy seems very, when I look at him, I kind of think that he's more secure, and he is someone who is he's his own man. He knows he knows who he is. He's come up as the King of Pentacles, and that's the king of value. So he values it. So I'm going to say that for you. Now, let's see what my next question was. Julie and I are starting a side hustle. Will it be successful? Let's see. Crystal, let's see what advice I can give you about your side hustle. Yeah, let's pull one from over here. Well, it says that to start off, it's a little bit of a struggle. But what I like about it is that you got this card next, which is the Queen of Wands. Now, when she's straight up, she's a tough business woman. And so when I'm reading this, that tells me stay true to your business. And it says if you can do that, the Fool also came straight up, which says you're kind of going in a little blind with the side hustle, but it can work. You just have it's gonna be a little struggle at first, but it will work. It can pan out as long as you stay true. Okay? And I'm gonna leave you with that. And what is my next one? Will I be alone forever? And that is for Melissa. Well, Melissa, there's no reason for that. You're one of those that has to go in and figure out why you are alone. And so, figure out why you're alone. But let's see. Will you be alone forever? So, last card I put was the Moon, which means you don't see things. That things are masked. Things are in the dark for you. Okay. However, the world is there, and the world says that you can reach success. Be patient. Take the time right now to learn who you are, learn what you really want before you put yourself out there. Again, a lot of times we're alone because we weren't really ready for anybody. We weren't really ready, and we weren't ready in certain types of relationships. But I think that you're not going to be alone. I think that if you put yourself out there, you're alone right now because of choice. I need to say that too. All right. Let's see. Love, right, Mark? Would my husband, aunt, and I relationship get better? Let's see, Jen. Let's see. 1, 2, and 3. Well, there was some unjust that happened there, and it needs some healing in order for there to be unity, which is this card here. See the unity and the celebration, but there was a big thing that split y'all up, and then this here is that you gotta go back and rethink what happened between the two of y'all, and then it can work out. Okay. And okay, now my next one is who is coming in my life? Anyone or nothing serious until next year. Julia. Go watch my Energetics one, and then when I finish Touch and Try, watch Energetics 2. That'll really help you guys. My Energetics course helps you. It will, if you follow the course and you do the things you're supposed to do, and you do it from your heart, I would say, if you put yourself out in the environment, you would find somebody in probably 3 to 4 months that's going to be attracted to you for who you are. You might get some other stuff to attract you. You'll be like, maybe not. But when you put it out, I can't tell you the people who come up to me because of my energy. I cannot. It is, and tell me things like you wouldn't believe. Like, it's frequent. All right, let me see. Is anybody coming into your life? And Alicia, you think you know who he is? Well, I hope so, girl. Because I want you nothing to be happy. So what it tells me, what you're really kind of trying to look for right now, Julia, is a little bit of security. Because you got this card, and that tells me you're looking for value in someone. You're looking for those things. It says here, too, that you got a Page of Pentacles, which is also newness. So that talks about things being new, things coming in there. And then you got the Wheel of Fortune, which means even when things are down, they must come back up. So no, you're not going to be alone forever, and you're not going to be alone for long. But you have to make those changes. It's just, it's just not going to happen on its own. You are the answer. If you want to make change in your life, and change is hard, you have to be its creator. Always remember that. Always, always, always remember that. Okay, let's see. What's next? So here's Gwen. What's next for me in love? Let's see, Gwen. Who knows? Okay, 1, 2, and I want this one, 3. Well, I do actually see something new. So you even got a card here. So I see something new. There's someone who's very fair and honest and trustworthy who's coming into your life, because that's what the Queen of Swords demands. And you're looking for balance. Right now, you're not focusing on your happiness. I think you're trying more now than maybe before, but we're still working into that, because right now you're still compensating in some kind of area. So I want you to get beyond that. Watch my class on energetics. I'm telling you. Guys, I don't know how powerful that is. And I didn't believe it till it started happening to me. And now it happens to me on a regular basis. I actually get depressed when it doesn't. No, because the Leo in me, But oh, Melissa, it's because you keep saying you have no luck. Stop saying that. You speak your truth. So stop that. Learn energetics. Turn it around. Positive only. What should you do about your mother-in-law? Quick death? No, I'm just kidding. That was a joke. Let me see. What should you do with your mother-in-law? I don't know what's going on to her, but whatever it says, well, first of all, whatever's going on is going to take value and money. So I know that, and then there's just some, you feel defeated with that. And again, I want you to put some newness into your feelings with her, and let's try to settle on something. It looks like that she needs some help. So I think that's what it's going to take, and you got to figure out what your role is there, is what I'm seeing, and then identifying what really needs to happen, and then don't feel guilty if you can't give her what she wants, and don't let somebody else make you feel guilty if you can't give her what she needs. That's not actually your responsibility. I'm just saying, would be your spouse's responsibility. Again, I'm not saying go against your spouse, but I'm saying you need to maybe separate yourself from that and allow your spouse or someone else to help with those decisions. And then you just work on creating a better relationship, because I think some of that might need a little work too, because it looks like there's some financial stuff that needs to happen with mother-in-law, according to this. So I'm going to say that. Okay? And of course, at a bigger reading, you'd probably get a lot more because you get more cards. Anyway, yes, I'm very scared to put myself out there. Don't be scared. Don't. Always speak positive. Own who you are. Find out, Melissa, find out who, go inside and look who you really are, and make sure you love yourself. And then put yourself out there. And I don't mean go, What I mean, I don't mean go out there and be, wild and crazy and just look for anything and everything. What I'm saying is go places, do things, be happy, look for the little joys in life. You know, I manage people in my job during the day. Hey Julie, I manage people in my career, okay? And what I've learned and what I try to do with all of them and why I have a pretty really good crew right now under me is that I always focus on their happy spot. What is really your happy place? What brings joy to your life? If they don't like the work that we're doing, I don't mind if they leave. I support them. I want you to become the best version of who you are. So I'm not going to hold you back for my own selfishness. If you don't like the work we're doing or the projects that we're doing and you want to move on, I'm okay with that. I'm never going to argue with you. I'm going to allow you to move because I want you to be happy. I want you to find your happy place. A lot of bosses aren't that way. I am. I don't. If you don't want to be working for me, I don't want you working for me. If you don't want to do the work we're doing, I don't want you there because then you're not giving me your all. And the current position that I'm in, the people that I affect need care and kindness, and they need love. And if you're not that person who can give that, then you don't belong in the area that I'm in. So I encourage my people to find their happy place. And if you're not happy, because of the projects that we get handed or the things that we have to do or what it's been, and you want to leave, I'm never going to be mad. I'm never going to prevent you because I want you to be happy. And I believe that in life you have to find your happy place. You have to find the little things that bring you joy. You have to find, and always think about love. Don't turn to negativity. Don't talk bad about other people. Don't talk bad about, other groups or other people, whatever. Find the little things about those things that you like. And people are going to be who they are. Understand them. Rather than repel them, understand those people and learn to find a little bit of hope in them. Because that's what people need. And remember times when you might have been down and you needed that little bit of hope. And you might not have gotten it. But why would you want to treat people like other people treated you if it wasn't positive? And so I try to preach that to people a lot. And I try to tell people, find your happy place. Definitely find your happy place. Okay, the only guy that's rejected me is the ex that can't commit. Well, but that's because you've allowed the behavior, Julia. It's not his fault, it's yours. Believe me. That's my whole point. That's what I'm trying to teach you guys. That's your fault. If you're still with him, that's your fault. And you won't let that energy go between you so you can find somebody. If you're busy messing with that energy, then you have shut your energy off to anybody else decent coming to you, girl. And I want you to find that right one for you. And do guys cheat? Yes, but guess what? Girls cheat just as much because for every straight man, there's a straight woman who's cheating with him. Okay? I know. Well, you know what? That's his issue. Tell him go enjoy his life. And then block him. All right, I had some more questions up here, so let me go. Yes, I'm very scared. I have a nonverbal autistic grandson who just said to live in another state with his father. His daughter's going in the back. Okay. So first, before I even pull a card for you, first thing I'm going to tell you is energetically, you need to disconnect from that. I know that is your grandson. But you cannot let your inner core get attached to that because it's going to be toxic to you and it's going to harm you. You have to try to stay positive, give advice where it needs to be given, back away, cut that cord. I'm not telling you not love them. I'm telling you cut the cord. Cut that energetic cord between, that thing that turns your stomach and knots you. You can't be attached to that negativity because don't attach to things you can't have control over. You can only control the way you feel about something. So definitely try to disconnect from that negative feel of that because I know that can be pretty bad. I have grandchildren, so I know I know. And I know how protective I can be. But I got to remember, they got parents. And I might not always agree, but they're pretty good parents. But I might not always agree with everything they do. But I got to realize that I'm here. I've had my chance. This is their chance to be parents. And I can give advice, but I cannot connect emotionally to it. I can't. Okay. So I pulled my 3 cards. And so what this says is, what I'm seeing is, I think that it says here that there is some help that is coming your way. I got the Queen of Wands. She's the businesswoman. So I think that your daughter needs to take care of business. Okay. This is family involvement. And again, it says that there are things that need to be done, but this looks like success. Like, I think that if y'all devise a plan and you do what needs to be done, that y'all can be successful in your plans to keep the child safe and make sure that he is good. But if the father's in any kind of way, but you can't have an opinion about him. That's still his child. He does need to spend some time with the child, because the child's going to be affected one way. So we just got to make sure that he's in the right space. Again, that's your daughter's job. You can verbalize. But remember, your daughter chose to be with that man. She chose that. You have to understand that. And so now she's having to be, guard her child. And I get that. And you need to be positive and try to help. You can offer help, but you got to emotionally disconnect from it. Okay, let's see. Get a card tonight, please. You just want 1 card, or you want 3? My uncle just passed away, and my aunt isn't doing well. He was 81, she is 76. Well, all right, so let's just see, Julie. Well, it looks like there's some legal stuff that's coming, and I think it's going to pass. I do think the emotions will pass. And I think that she will be able to understand their relationship. So what I recommend right now for them, Julie, right now, is that I would say that they need to kind of get everything in order. She needs to make her, prepare whatever she needs to prepare, and then she needs to try to move on with her security in life, because it is hard when you get to be older, because you get so dependent, and she could pass herself. And so I want you. I don't see that, and I want to make that clear. I don't see that. But I know the pattern when people have been together for many, many years, and then they get older, and then they live together, and then one of them passes away, the other one starts going into that depression. So what I say is, be an active part, be an active part in her life, check on her, make sure that she's doing things, get her out, and just keep a good eye on her. And yes, and work is overwhelming right now. Yes, I understand. But also remember, you can help her, but you have to have time for you. And listen to me telling you that, of all people. I'm just kidding. You have to have time for you. I don't know if I'm allowed to ask another question, but you said I need to rethink what happened, and I have been trying to figure out what I did, and she will not talk to me. Anything. So this is what I recommend, okay, Jen? Is that when people don't get along with you and you really care about that person, first of all, you have to disconnect emotionally, but still be human to them. Like, for their birthday, send them a card, send them a text thinking about you, or send them something for, little things. Doesn't have to be every day. But here's where people mess up. Jen, you have to do it without expectation. Don't expect her to write you back, because that's not your purpose here. It's none of your business what she thinks about you. You can only be responsible for who you are as a person. So it's okay if you care about her and she doesn't care about that. That's her business. That's her business, not yours. So in the meantime, if you want to be a good person, you send her a card. You send her a thank you. You give her, send her a birthday card. You send her a text every now and then, just thought about you today, remembered when, blah, blah, blah. And let it go. If she don't respond, no problem. That's her issue. She's the one that has to live with that, not you. Don't change yourself because of her. Never change who you are to please someone else. That is the goal. Oh, thank you, Julia. I love you guys too. So, you still can be active in her life. She doesn't have to be active in yours. You can only control who you are. This is all part of energetics. I'm gonna keep pushing that because it is. You can only control who you are. You cannot control who she is. She'll be the one miserable, not you. Learn to care about people from your heart, not your mind. Okay? If you really care about somebody and you're not trying to prove a point or show how they're worse than you, because there's that. If you truly love them from the heart, then you do little things for them. Doesn't matter if they return it because that's not what you're looking for. Really evaluate how you feel about her. And this isn't just a test to say what kind of person she is or you are. But if you really care about her from your heart, then do little things. It doesn't matter if she doesn't return them. Has no meaning. She doesn't have to speak to you at all. But because it's about you. And then Jen, you will, when you pass, you'll have no regret. When she passes, you'll have plenty. You know, and that's how I tell it to people all the time. All right, so let's see. And again, that's okay. That's challenging for her. And I understand that. But there's a reason behind that. And she chose to be with this person, and she chose to make these babies, and she chose this life. You have to emotionally disconnect. It'll take you down. It'll take your health down. I'm not saying not to love them. I'm not saying to be mean. I'm saying you have to understand what your role is going in and not connecting emotionally, because you already see this is a negative emotion and that it's going to tie you up. And I get it. It's family. I have a family, so I understand. But what I'm saying to you is learn to love them through you. Yeah, and I know she's your daughter, so you want to believe. And I'm not saying she's lying. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying, but you want to support her. You want to believe everything she's telling you, and you want to help everything. And I get that. And you can do what you can do. But you have to decide what are your limits, what is your role, and you know what? Your daughter, she chose this path. She chose that man to be her husband. And she chose that man, and she chose to have 2 kids with that man. And, you know, I don't know if this was going on the whole time because I didn't look into it, or if this was just something that happened, you know, over a certain course of years. But I mean, you know, and if she didn't see it, that's really terrible. But more reason for her to get up and walk away. You know, and disconnect from him emotionally, because she's going to wind up getting herself sick. See it all the time. Emotions are the number one cause of illness. Know that. Emotions are the number one cause of most serious illnesses. You know, so what I'm saying to you guys is that, you know, what does the 2 cards mean? I think I told you guys, but you said Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, you had the justice and you had the legal upside down, justice straight up. So what that's saying is there was issues, because the swords are issues. There was issues that weren't right, but then you're trying to justify them. So that's what those 2 cards were. Yeah. So again, then maybe she was never a fan of his, and that's okay. That's her problem. Do you? You know, do you? Don't you know? That's her problem. If she doesn't like you, that's her issue. I don't hold any. I do my hardest to have no regrets. But you know, I always put my big mouth into stuff and my foot and other things. But I always try, you know, to at least understand that anything that happens to me is for a reason. And I try to piece it, like, why did I react that way? Why did I do that? Why? You know, I'm always analyzing who I am and what my beliefs should be. And I had some pretty crazy, like, other people understand, but I was raised by 2 totally different people. Completely different sets of values. So you got to understand what your values are, but complete different sets of values, complete different, you know, moral moral compasses completely different. And because of that, I guess that's what helps me see people, and that's what helps me understand people, And so I tell you, if somebody doesn't want to talk to you, that's their issue. But that doesn't mean you have to get out of their life. I don't care if you mailed her a card for her birthday, she throws it away. That's her. That's her. It's none of your business what people think about you. It is none of your business what people think about you. Only person you need to worry about is you and who you are. How do you perceive yourself? And be that loving person within inside of you. Don't let other people change that about you. I see a lot of hate in this world, especially in America. I'm just going to be honest. I travel the world. America has a lot of hate in it. A lot of hate. A lot of unnecessary hate. And it's the one thing that depresses me about this country. And, again, people shouldn't hate. Period. Bottom line. No one knows what the other person's going through. And no one deserves something that another person has or doesn't have. I mean, you should be here trying to help one another. And you should come from a place of love. And you might not be able to afford to. And that's understandable. If you're not, there'll be somebody else. But don't hate someone because of it. Learn to understand what happened, what brought them there. I don't hate anybody. I don't. I truly don't. I truly don't hate anybody. Now, I have people that have tested me, or they thought I didn't like them. I mean, I might not associate with you a lot if you're, negative around me, or if you are, if I don't feel energetically connected to you, or that you're going to be a positive influence for me, like my friend Alicia there is. She saved me from getting a bullet. Okay, that's a true story. So that's why I love me. I always loved Alicia, even before the bullet incident. But she definitely saved me from getting a bullet. But anyway, so I get myself in trouble. I had she can tell you, we almost had a bullet when she was big and pregnant. But anyway, yep, yes, we had click. We go, oh, here we go. But I wasn't going to let that nothing happen to that baby. I jumped right in front of her when that happened. But anyway, I love her too. She saved my life. But anyway, we saved each other's life that night. But anyway, so we worked together, so we had an incident. But anyway, yes, hate is very powerful. But you know why people want you to hate? Think about it. If you go back to I don't know what episode it is, but there's the episode on energetics part 1 is about hate and about what it and fear and what happens in it. And there's a chart that when I pulled that up in a class, and it really showed you, yes, we are locked in forever, love. This chart shows you what happens as you have these emotions, how your IQ just goes down, how your body reacts to it, how, all those things. So that's why I'm telling you, energetics are so important. It's on my YouTube, Alicia. It should be on my YouTube. And actually, I thought you were at that lecture. I thought I saw your comment. I maybe not. But anyway, I actually put the slides up. It's on a YouTube, and I know it is because I showed part of my level 1 energetics online. And we cover fear and hate and anxiety. And we're going to start off Touching Eternity 2, the second part of energetics at Touching Eternity this year. I'm going to start off with doing a recap of last year, a quick recap the first day. Then the next 2 days that I'm teaching will be all the new material. So, and then I will put it online for everybody. Okay, well, don't seem like there's any more questions. And what is it? Almost time for me. What time is it? Oh, no, I got a minute. I got a little minute. So anyway, it's only 9:29, 9:30. I gotta go in a little bit. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I really want people to learn love. First, loving themselves is what's really, really, really important, is loving who you are, loving what you do, learning respect for everybody else. Do dreams mean the opposite or any other meaning? So dreams are manifested by several factors, and so I would have to talk to you about the factors. So it depends upon how late you ate, what you experienced that day, and then tell me the dream, and then we're going to see what the correlations are. And if it's none of those things, then we can look at it into a spiritual aspect, because dreams are facilitated by multiple things. Okay, so I definitely love. In fact, maybe we'll talk about dreams again soon, because I think I talked about them once before. But if there's a topic y'all want to talk about, we can talk about angels, dreams, spirituality, anything, anything on metaphysics. So just send me an email and we'll talk. But the relationship lectures are the ones that get the most views. Just so y'all know, we talk about relationships, and when I get back from Touching Eternity this year in Orlando, I'm going to be doing some videotaping of my classes, and if some of the other teachers will allow it, I'm going to videotape some of their classes. So I will show some bits and pieces to you guys because this year is going to be a shocker. I got some really fun stuff planned for everybody this year. So please let me know ahead of time before you do about the dreams. So Julie, I got some. I'm trying to pull in some guests right now. So I know Trini was here tonight. Next week, Misty's going to be here with me. So we're going to talk about Misty's going to be here. Misty's going to be here with me, and so I'm going to have some guests on. So sometime when I don't have a guest, we'll get into some really deep dream talk. I will try to post it on Facebook maybe before I do it, but you usually come every week, Julie. And then if you don't, it's always on YouTube. So everything that we do here is recorded automatically on YouTube. So you can, even tonight's episode is going to be on YouTube. So it's recording as we're speaking, and it's live on YouTube as well. So you can always recatch some of these on YouTube, and even on Facebook you can recatch some. I have not been able to log in. TikTok doesn't like me anymore for some reason, and I'm okay with that, because they've been so fickle. So we have not been on TikTok as much, but I am going to probably take down TikTok and move to Instagram, because I can add 3 places here. So I'll be doing that. So folks, had a good night with you guys. I will see you next week, and my guest, thank you, Julie. My guest next week will be Misty Gaither, and she'll be here with me, and we're going to be talking to you, and her name will be up here, and she's going to be in the second little bubble up here for you guys. But thank you again for joining me for Touching Eternity, the podcast. I'm your host, Sid Patrick, and please follow me. Go to my website, sid-patrick.com. You can find a lot of information in my link tree, like different things that we do. And so keep following, and good night, and we will see you on the next Touching Eternity, the podcast. Bye.